Shalom. Of course, giving all honor, praises, and glory unto the Heavenly Father, Yahawashi, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Mashiach, Last Koyim, Sha'ol, Gadol, Wakah, which is giving double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well even up to this day. Also, strong shalom to you, brothers, just as well as you sisters who might be tuning in, listening and learning. This service is I am back with another one. Lord willing, is edifying, and we're gonna get right to it. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 7. And it says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord.
Right, because right now it's this peak holiday season. Folly is bullshit. I was walking in public square, just trying to grab a quick bite to eat before camp, and I noticed that all these people were enticed in Esau's enchantments. And the particular enchantments I'm talking about are one pertaining to the holidays. You know, they trying to spread that quote-unquote holiday love and holiday cheer. You need to have that same reverence and that same attitude towards serving the Heavenly Father.
It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord.
That means don't wait.
And put not off from day to day.
Right. So you hip to this knowledge, and you be like, well, Thanksgiving is right here, Black Friday, Christmas coming up next. I stop doing all this wickedness, and then Lord willing, I make that my New Year's resolution. I'm gonna get a garment. I'm gonna find a camp. You can't do that. You gotta turn now. You got the chance.
Because all people, they put off the day of the Lord. Like it say in Ezekiel 12. You know what I'm saying? They say that the vision is prolonged. You know what I'm saying? It says, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and thy security thou shalt be destroyed.
Right. So just when you think that everything's cool, the Lord is coming back as a thief in the night. I'm gonna back that up real quick.
Real one to the time. It says, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and thy security shall thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
The day of vengeance, the Lord comes back. That's the midst of World War III, but it's gonna be tempest from the chariots and ICB and missiles. So that's where that quote-unquote lake of fire come from. It's not a place in the ground where a red man is on your ass with a pitchfork. It's Babylon the Great.
This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
Yeah, so when you least expect it, just like Sirach just said.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. When they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with trial, and they shall not escape. So that means that when the day of the Lord comes, it's gonna come unexpectedly. So you wanna stay ready so that you don't have to get ready. Yeah, and as soon as the holiday season came around, they hit you with another variant. Exactly. Yeah. They hit you with the Omega. Right. Which means the end. Okay. It's called Omicron, whatever they named it. But they shutting down countries now. Because that's all prophecy in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. It's the highest Thanksgiving ever in the history of the earth. Oh, yeah, most expensive Thanksgiving. Which means that your dollar is the weakest that it's ever been. That's really all that means. See, they flipped it around to make it sound like, or if it just costs a lot, but really it's the value of the currency going down.
The brother quoted, so I'm going to bring it out. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
Right. So can you one of your brothers got anything? I was gonna say, can you research the countries that's banned from coming to African France? Yeah, they all Hamitic countries. Now, I thought this whole thing started with Moab, with the Chinese. But now, the face of the sickness is, of course, they're trying to make it brown-skinned people.
because they try to link it to you Israelites. You know, every avenue, this devil is coming down on you Israelites. Whether it's in the medicine field, whether it's economically, whether it's politically, whatever, man. His eyes is privileged set against the poor. Let me know when y'all got it. Y'all can read it.
I read it again when you're ready. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And what this made me think of is what's going on in Austria right now. You know, it was just not too long ago when they was offering a little bit of time for free with a woman at a brothel when she took Esau's juice, and then days later, they're heading towards another major lockdown. So this is a meticulous plan of Yahawashi being executed on the left-hand side. Yeah, this is all by design. And you got to give credit to who credit is due. Isaiah 45:7. It's the Lord controlling all these things. It just depends on what lesson you choose to use.
I got a quick one because the brother Yaquam had made a point dealing with how, it's about to be holiday season. And, they about to give all the gifts and stuff. But, Esau giving all that. But, in the midst of that, he give another variant. This is book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 7. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and the gift destroys the heart. So you got all these holidays coming up, but that's going to destroy them. This is another way that I'm thinking of. What the scriptures talk about, it said a gift blinds the eyes, but medicine I see.
It's lucky because the scriptures say they imagine a vain thing. So they're trying to sit here in Babylon, so what really is going down, so they use witchcraft in the media. Joe Biden talking about, he said, damn, you know what I'm talking about? He was like, this is America. Oh, he said America's back. He said, you're back, America's back again. But this, peace and safety. Yeah, right there. Oh, they shall say peace and safety. That's what I was going to. I don't know if I said that, but as soon as the holidays come around, that's when they introduce the prayer.
Are you getting that free Bible for that?
Oh, how no Bible today? Sorry.
That's nice. Okay, I'll catch you.
Yeah, because, hey, you know what? Esau's version of America being great again is the NWO, man. But the Lord only gonna allow that to reach a certain peak.
Got the article?
No, I can't find it.
You can find it. It's just like a list of the countries that's.
I got a list of the countries right here.
Yeah. Should be like 5 or 6.
Europe, UK, South Africa, India, Brazil, and China for flying into the U.S.
And this is nothing more than Esau's. You know how you play a video game and you got different waves that you gotta go through in order.
Levels.
Yeah. This Yahawashi is putting a spirit on Esau to turn up the levels. You see, he coming out with different variants. He blocking different areas off from having access to different parts of the world.
Revelation 12 is coming down with great wrath because they know that on the left-hand side, their time is being Salaki. That's not what I meant to say. They know their time is very, very, very short. How do we know that? Because we prime example. Yahawashi Yahawah, we the men out there signing a crime with sackcloth. That was prophesied. And they knew, like, once they hit America in large volumes, that they closer and closer to the end.
This book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath.
Like, that devil is not the spiritual demon Satan, it's the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, which is the spirit of Esau Edom, which is primarily in these so-called white people. Now, we are spiritual. We understand that every single white person is not an Edomite, but most of you are. It goes by the seed of your father, and that seed passed down from Esau, all that, and end up in the so-called white man.
It's like real quick, this is the same great wrath that he had since the beginning of time, man.
Right.
The Lord is about to allow Esau to get loose, man. So you just got to get right, because when he do, it's going to be the worst time that was ever in history.
That's why scripture refer to that as a perpetual hatred.
Exactly. This book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens. It says, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Right, because the scripture saying Job, that right before his belly is about to be filled, where exactly. Paraphrasing, the Lord's going to come back and shut all this shit down. Right. It's defiled anyway, you know. It's a damn thief, a vagabond. All you do, you bring that vibration of death. And Yahawashi is coming back to conquer death.
God. The scripture says he is, that's death. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, will stand up for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
Right. Let's talk about the elect. You know, that time that's worse than slavery, worse than the civil rights era.
Worse. Because the ones that's not delivered was not written in the Lamb's Book of Life.
And real quick, well, you know, we about to enter into the biggest I told you so ever, man. You know, because now, you know, I was just watching some news, and pretty much it seems like what they saying on the news now is pretty much broadcasting what the prophets was saying this whole time.
You know, it is. It is. Because, you know, Amalek, you know, running the media, they know. It's like the brother Kadash put out a couple of camps ago. They have a priesthood on the left-hand side. Right. They know exactly. They know the prophecy just like, you know, the men of the Lord know to a certain extent. And I say that double underline, all caps, to a certain extent. They just know that really who had the blessing. They know our rights. I mean, not our rights, our customs. And they trying to get the birthright back. They think that, you know, it's a slight chance in hell that they can be the people again, and they can't. You know, because Esau did never the people. Right. You know, I mean, it's a lot of edification. It was
never the people.
Right.
That's why the reconciliation is so important, because you was never in good graces. The other nation was never in good graces with Yahawashi. Yeah.
Revelation.
I had him on my channel right there.
This book of Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. And it says, alas, for that day is great.
What day is that? That's Jacob's trouble. Just like he brought out in Daniel 12. The time worse than slavery, you know, civil rights, the genocide that you wicked ass people just celebrated this Thursday. It's gonna be way worse than that. That's why Amos 5, they compare the different perils to animals. And then when you finally feel like you got some rest, it's a snake on the damn wall.
It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day. Well, that's pretty much it on that.
Yeah, so it's gonna be so bad. Like you read, that wife of the archangel is going to stand up. That's that same point in Revelation, I believe, the 18th chapter, when her sins have reached to heaven. That's a boiling point. This system is on its last leg. It's just like when you see an old person fall, it's happening kind of slow, and this motherfucker about to drop soon.
Yeah, Genesis 49, the Lord said, who shall rouse them up? You know? Right. The scripture say they're going to be as a wild bull in the net. You know, so the people going to be going buck wild. You know? I'm going to keep reading. It says, this is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 18. Woe unto you, the desire of the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him.
Right. So the different animals that he just read about, those represent different perils. But keep reading that back from the top of the chapter.
Amos chapter 5, verse 19. 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahawashi bahasham Yahawashi.
So these people, and when I say these people, I primarily mean Christians, and even people fall into that Islam vibration. They think that when the Lord comes back, it's going to be damn near soul train line. Everybody, high-fiving, hugging. It's just like, wow, we're so glad to see you. Like, that's not what the book says.
Right. The scripture just said that the day of the Lord, what did it say? The day of the Lord is darkness, man.
Back to
Hey,
Zephaniah.
and real quick, I got another point real quick. It's a series on Netflix called Hellbound. Let's check that out. It's pretty Hellbound. Dealing with how you see, it's some pretty much people got a designated hour where they was told that they was gonna die, and when that hour comes, these big ass motherfucking monster looking demons just fucking brutally fuck their ass up, man. And the whole series, I ain't watched the whole thing just yet, but so far the series is based upon if this is actually sent by the Lord. You know what I mean? Like people like, why would God, do something like this? You know what I mean? But these things are coming out of the scriptures. Yahawashi, he said that the day of the Lord is darkness, man.
Amos 5 verse 18. Woe to you that desire the day of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
Right, because that day is going to be gloomy for you if you're not written in the Lamb's Book of Life. People think the rapture is just a bunch of souls floating up, Gentile, natural heathen souls, like everybody just mixed together to meet sweet baby Jesus Christ, and that's not it. That's not it at all.
Yeah, because the letter J didn't come about till like the late 1500s, I think. 1524. So hey, you could keep calling on the J, but the J, that vibration wasn't around. Amos 5 verse 19. As if a man did flee from a lion and a fair male, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent veiled.
Now, you got to break that, think about it. Actually visualize that.
They show you that, the show Black Summer. Everybody saw that was a zombie movie, but what I'm saying? Like when it first started off, it was chaotic, and you running from this place, then you zombie come this way, you gotta hop the fence, then you go over here, and then, you know what I'm saying? And then you think you're safe, and then another one pop up. So that's pretty much how it's gonna be so chaotic. From one place to another, people gonna be rioting, looting, just taking advantage of individuals, ravaging women.
Yeah, that's why you're gonna have people jumping in like secret areas, and niggas already gonna be hiding there. Exactly.
Yeah, another one was
Oh yeah,
but it's another one called Bushwick on Netflix.
This book of Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 14. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near. You see, this is what we've been saying the whole time. The day of the Lord is near. You got Jake talking about, what you missing in that? Well, it's not.
Don't keep saying it. Don't keep saying it until the chariots get here.
Right. And it's not these things coming to pass. So that's just full of ignorance. It says the great day of the Lord is near. It is near, and hasten greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly.
This could be an actual voice.
It goes on to say that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, right? And Jacob sit up here and say, y'all depressing, or y'all always talk about something negative, but at the same time, we trying to save your life, man. Jacob say that like these things are not coming to pass. You see, like Yahawashi
Something bad was gonna happen to you. Wouldn't you want to know?
Right.
Or something bad could potentially happen to you. Wouldn't you want to know?
Exactly. I guess not. I knew that in the long run. I said, hey, if I told you the ground was gonna crack in the front, would you still go outside?
Right.
I said, yes, so. You're a dumbass. That's how people think. Because we saw the cloud that made to naturally think and to like they don't even have a conscience anymore. They're robots. They can't think of themselves.
That's why they're gonna get bit. They're gonna lean on the house. They're gonna go in the house, lean on the house, and the serpent is gonna bite them. And pretty much, there's a precept I got here in 2 Kings. They trust in Egypt, man. They trusted in Egypt, so they're gonna end up taking that mark. Because when the chaos break out, the only foreseeable way to safety and security is gonna be the chip, because they're gonna reset everything.
Exactly.
It says on here in 2 Kings chapter 18, verse 21. Now behold, thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, unto all that trust in him. And that's really going into that mark, which is the RFID microchip. Okay, the mark of the beast, you know, and the people that trust in this Pharaoh, you know, which is Esau, is likened unto the modern day Pharaoh in Romans the 9th chapter. So the people that trust on this man, they're gonna get pierced.
Right. And you know what? Because the Lord gave Esau power too. It was an account, I think that was Moses who had a staff. The Lord told him to put a staff and it turned into a serpent. But then, I think that was the Egyptians, they turned around and they had Magi's and they did the same thing with their staff. You know, so it's the same thing today. Yahawashi got the prophets out here, you know, with this sword. But then he got Esau on the other side with his sword. You know, so, you know, you either going to trust in Yahawashi sword or you going to trust in the staff of Egypt, man. You know?
To back Brother Yaquama, this is Isaiah chapter 31, verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because there are many, and the horsemen because they are very strong.
Right, because the scriptures say that, you know, their horses are flesh, man. But the Lord's horses are, matter of fact, ain't that in the same verse?
And horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
Right, and they look not to the Holy One of Israel because they see Esau's current power. They see how Esau's glory is in the current moment, man.
They fell for the okie doke. They
So
think he is God.
Psalm 73.
Yeah.
So she said, "For I was envious at the wicked, when I saw I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." You know?
Verse 2.
Everybody want to live nice. We don't want to live nice.
Right? That's why John.
We was.
Yeah, that's why John was on verse 17. So I'm wrong with that point, man. Like, you know, he was like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because all of it come from the Lord, bro. Right? All the cars and technology is made out of earth. You know what I'm saying? So it's all the Lord's creation. So you still marvel at the results that it brings and the things that it do. It's just a person that's wicked is the one that's, you know what I'm saying, like using it for his benefit. You know, and his benefit is our hell. That's it, man.
Yeah. Continue on. Isaiah 31 and 2. Yet he is also wise and will bring evil and will not call back his word, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity.
Yeah, because you got people that help this man. You know, you got people that help this man Esau Edom. That's why he said, "He that helpeth and he that hopeth shall fall." Oh no, yeah,
Ezekiel, Isaiah 31 and 2. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his word, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity.
Right, the Lord ain't gonna call back his word just because you don't feel like coming to camp. You know, the Lord ain't gonna call back his word just because you don't feel like, you know what I mean, call on the true name of the Heavenly Father. You know what I'm saying?
So like, what does Isaiah the 55th chapter say? You know, his words go forth out of his mouth, it's going to be accomplished. Ecclesiastes 3. Everything has a certain time and a place. A time to pluck, you know, a time to reap, a time to sow, a time for all that. Balance. But verse 3 in that same chapter says, now the Egyptians are men and not power, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand.
Yeah, because you got to realize that we're in modern day Babylon, so spiritual Egypt, all that Syria. So the brother read in verse 2, I believe, right? They help. They help this man's kingdom continue. So by helping this man's kingdom continue, that means that what? They trust in Egypt. So the scriptures tell you that in First Kings chapter 8, I believe, either First Kings or Second Kings, I think it's First Kings chapter 8, dealing with they was reaping for taboos. You know, because this is what's the word I'm looking for, man? Like, Jake is intertwined with this man, man. Right. You know, that's why Jeremiah 5 said they eat some taboos. So Jake is intertwined with this man. You know what I mean?
And that's why you're going to get the same judgment as the way.
Yeah, it don't make sense to die and get the same judgment.
Isaiah 31:3. Now the Egyptians are men and not power, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down.
Right. You join with him, you're gonna fall with him. You know? That's what it just said. It said, though hand join of hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. It said that all that join unto him shall be thrust with the sword. So because friends don't fight like enemies, and family don't fight like enemies. Family already fight like enemies. But it ain't, you know what I'm saying? You know, the fool they but Jake is starting to see, like I was talking about coworker, he was like, man, I be going to the grocery store, I be looking for shit that I normally buy and they don't be there. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to tell you what's coming. You know what I'm saying? But Jake is starting to see because it's the Lord gonna put it in front of you, man.
Right.
You know?
Right. And the Lord.
That's why he say, you know, they're going to be deceived by their own vain opinion. The only thing that's stopping them from following the Lord is their own vain opinion. It's right there in front of your face, bro.
Right.
It's plain. You just want to go, you know things for the sake of it.
That's safe, my friend. If you had to understand this information to get a driver's license, I bet you get it. Mastery 70%, I bet you get the gist of it, depending on you getting your next meal.
So, and it shows you the mockery because it said at the beginning of the verse, it said their power is flesh and not spirit. You know what I'm saying? So the ones that help this man to the word, they walk in the flesh, walk in carnality, man. Therefore, they can't. It's impossible for them to go on the light. The light is Yahawashi, man.
God.
By default, they are that wicked, man. You know?
The ending of Isaiah 31:3, and he that is hopeless shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. But thus saith the Lord, spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey, when a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall the Lord of hosts come down to fight for the Mount Zion and for the hills thereof.
Right, because the scripture said the Lord's hand is not short that he shall not save, you know, because Jake won't help from Esau, you know. But that's not true preparation. That's not too good.
It says, I got
based on point I said, but you know, pretty much Yahawashi trying to set forth, you know, the prophets to reveal certain things unto our people. You know what I mean? You know, speaking of these prophecies, and it made me think because you know, the more these prophecies come to pass, the less we gonna have to say to things. You know, nowadays when I come across family members and stuff like that, I really don't have anything to say as far as prophecy goes because at this point it should already be known. This is real quick. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 17. It says, "Also I said, watch me open you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken." You know, because like the brother said, you tell a guy, you know, don't go outside at this time because somebody gonna snatch you up. You know, when they say, I don't care, I don't give a fuck. You know, not hearkening unto the words of the prophets, man. You know? Oh, yep. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, to whom shall I speak and give warning, that they may hear? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised.
right. See, that's what it's about. The uncircumcision, our people are the uncircumcision because they don't want to take heed to the warning. Right. Read it again.
It says, to whom shall I speak and give warning?
To whom shall I speak and give warning? Go ahead.
That they may hear. Behold, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of the Lord is unto them a reproach.
The word is uncircumcised, and the word of the Lord is unto them a reproach. Why? Because they take the side of their daddy Esau.
Right.
So, because the scripture is truly a reproach to Esau. So, if you side with Esau, every time somebody talk about Esau, we talk about the southern white man going to slavery, nation going to slavery. What are people saying? What about this? What about the Chinese? What about the white man? What about they never concerned about themselves. They always concerned about everybody else. You know? Because they taking on their enemies' reproach upon themselves. That's that's how destroyed the Lord got him. Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, "To whom shall I speak and give warning, that they may hear? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of the Lord is unto them a reproach. They have no delight in it."
They don't have no delight in this because we're not, coming over for Thanksgiving.
Right.
We're not trying to make a big Christmas list, and we scrambling to buy all these damn gifts. Like a chicken with our head cut off, spending money we don't even got.
Jacob don't, right.
For toys that ain't even gonna get played with.
Yeah, God.
A lot of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of this stuff is gonna be able to feed you in time of famine.
Right. And Jacob don't have no delight in hearing these things, man. Even though that they the truth.
Yeah, only what you know will help you survive. So what you know is what you worship. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to this knowledge and wisdom that the Lord has given us. That's gonna help us survive. Not nothing funny.
Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17, it says, "Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word in my mouth, and give the warning for me." And the mouthpiece of Yahawashi is the prophets. It says, "When I said to the wicked, thou shalt surely die." So, like the example the brother's been bringing out, you tell somebody, "Hey, go over there. I heard they're supposed to be shooting." They're like, "Man, fuck it, I gotta go home." All right. It says, "When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life." We're not out here for ourselves. We're here to uplift our office, ultimately uplift Yahawashi, and we out here warning, we're trying to save souls. It says, "Warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and his
So we gotta do this. It's gonna say woe unto us if we preach not the gospel. Because it's in us. So if it's in us, we gotta bring it out.
let's take those tokens. We gotta
Because you don't want to have blood on your hands. That's what it's saying. It's going into.
It says, "The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand."
Yeah, thine hand. You didn't warn him. You didn't tell him, don't run in the street, without looking both ways. You just raised him and just, you didn't give him no advice concerning the street. Then when he get 12, he get ran over by a car. Because you didn't warn him.
Right. And the part of somebody is talking plain, man. Like when you got your children and you raising them up, the best way to teach them how to get ready to start talking, you gotta talk clear. You gotta talk to them like they duck. Yeah, you can't be like wishy. You can't. No, you gotta give them straight and plain, man. This is what it is, and they gonna learn from it.
Right, because if you talking like a baby, they're gonna talk like a baby. You talk to them like they got some sense. Because babies know anyway, even when they real young, when they first come out, they can't communicate. Right. Their vocal cords ain't developed.
Getting frustrated.
Gobble, juice.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 44, verse 9. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahawashi, no stranger, uncircumcised in heart." It says, "No stranger, uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary, of any stranger that is among the children of Israel."
Right. So if you're not hearkening to this word, that's gonna lead to your demise. And the word is only meant for Yahshua. Right. Psalm 141.
He said, "No stranger among the children of Israel," because you're gonna have strangers among the children of Israel. They stranger to Yahawashi.
Isaiah 14:1. They're not actual strangers. They just acting like it. Right. They under that vibration of Esau, whatever nation they captive under.
He said, yeah,
It says, this book of Ezekiel, chapter 44, and verse 9. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahawashi, no stranger uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary."
Yeah, because you gotta be circumcised in the mind. You gotta have on that garment. You know what I'm saying? The truth, the knowledge, the doctrine. Yahawashi, that's being circumcised in your mind. It's more than just coming back into the truth and knowing you're an Israelite. You gotta, okay, what's the next level, man? How am I made like Yahawashi? That's me being circumcised in my mind, because your mind is your spirit. It's connected to your spirit.
Right. Real quick, we go to the circumcision. That's when we talk about the law. Like, of course, it is important to be physically circumcised, but you know, spiritually being circumcised is taking heed to the law, statutes, and commandments, and knowing that they're not going to save you, but they're guidelines. Like, how can you say you love the Lord and you want to serve the Lord to the best of your ability, but you eating BLTs when nobody's looking?
But that was what the whole Gentile thing was about when Paul was on the scene, man. You know, because they was making an uproar talking about they not circumcised, this, the third, they were circumcised in the mind, man. Yep. You know?
That can be fixed.
Just because this nigga got, you know what I'm saying? No, man, it's all about the spirit, man. You know, it went from the physical to the spirit. You know, those are the Lord told the lady, the Samaritan woman, he said, the time will come that the true worshipers will worship the Lord. And those are the true worshipers, man, the ones that are truly circumcised, the ones that truly repentant.
Ezekiel 20, verse 32. And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone.
Hey, right. We African American and proud, right? I'm Catholic. Yeah, God, you know, following after the ways of the heathen. Man. But I got a quick one, real quick. This is book of Romans, chapter 2, and verse 25. It says, "For circumcision verily profiteth if thou keep the law, but if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision?"
Right. Just like the brother said, like, it all starts like in the mind. Like, that's what the whole controversy was about with Gentiles. Like, they didn't grow up keeping the customs, but the Lord put the Spirit on them. You can't dispute the Lord and put the Holy Spirit on somebody. Just like right now, it appears to be law bites in front of us, but if they can understand His word and receive it with meekness, like the scriptures say, then they're Israelites.
It says, "And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge thee, who by the letter and circumcision doeth transgress the law? For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly." Right. You know, because we also got tares. You know, we also got tares who look like Jakes, but they actually go back to the heathen nations.
That's why the Lord's going to separate them. Let them go together. Yeah. And then when that great reference comes, you're going to see who really who.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know if I remember. I had a dream of that shit, bro. That shit was heavy. We was in the field. In the middle of the field, it was a maze. And it was the wheat and the tares. The Lord had, I forgot how to dream it, but the Lord had me watch everything go together or something like that. And then I started trying to run, or I was watching the dude run, and he tried to escape, but he was a terror. He tried to jump through the weed, like he tried to jump through the corn or whatever. But he was a terror. And then he fell down in a ditch. You know what I'm saying? Because he looked like an Israelite, but he wasn't.
Right. Because the Lord got a weeding system. He got a water. He got a sifting system to sift out, you know, who he's dealing with, who he ain't, man. All the way down from the Israelites, all the way up to the heathens, man. It says, it says, "For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart in the spirit, and not in the letter."
That also goes back to like Esau trying to rewrite prophecy, man. He mixes seed amongst you know the people. You know what I'm saying? So he tried to like, okay, that didn't work. I can't mix my seed, so I still don't get it right. All right, let's put them here. I still can't get it. Like, let me do this. Bro. Anything you do against the men of the Lord, it will not prevail. It's no enchantments against Jacob, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is in control, like the brother mentioned earlier, man. He's the Father of spirits, right? What? Read that from top again.
It says, "For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, Neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of Yahawashi.
Because you do have men in these days, even in the ancient world, that will come before the congregation as holy, but they were really filthy, man.
All right, that's why they enlarge the phylacteries on their garments. You know, extra loud prayers. Like,
You got. Matter of fact,
Scripture talk about survive.
Let's go. I think
It says,
This is the book of Jude, verse 4. There are certain men crept in unawares who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of our power into lasciviousness and denying the only Lord power and our Lord Yahawashi Mashiach.
so you're gonna have certain guys who deny Yahawashi. We see them now. You got IUIC, different camps that don't even call the name Yahawashi, let alone, teach the correct doctrine.
This is Matthew chapter 23. It 10. It's 11. But he that is, I'm sorry, 9. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your father which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Mashiach. But he that is greater among you shall be your servant, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. The Lord said he coming back for the meek. The meek shall inherit the earth. Because they have the essence of the Heavenly Father, man, and what it truly means to dwell in love, man. Okay, the very embodiment of love, which also comes with the ugly, the bitter also, man. That's also part of that love, man. So and part of that is having mercy. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to maneuver through these different camps and different brothers that you come across just by their actions. The Lord told you to put this Iraq, a man is known by his promise. You know what I'm saying? When the man don't have mercy on his brother, you know what I'm saying? As soon as something comes up, he quick to bring up something he did in the past. That man never loved you, man. He's not a man of the Lord. It says, but woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for ye neither go in yourselves, neither there suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Yeah, man. So they all talk. You know what I'm saying? You got guys that's all talk, man. You know what I'm saying? Brother, you should do this. Brother, you should do that. But they're not doing it themselves. They're not willing to actually watch you go in because they're not doing it themselves. They don't know how to give you the proper defense for you to survive, man. Because they're not really doing it themselves, bro. So the time is coming, what the Lord is doing right now. He's having a sifting party. Okay? He's sifting the house of Israel. He's sifting the nation. He's dividing the world, man. So that the world can clearly see that this is the righteous and this is the wicked, man. And that's what this whole thing is about, man. Go ahead.
If I got a real quick point to that, I was talking to some IUIC dude, and he was pretty much going into how, we believe that we don't have the breakdowns of Revelation. We believe that they're too hard to understand. But just a quick point.
Who said that?
Some guy from IUIC.
When you said that we don't have to understand it.
Yeah, he don't believe that the breakdowns in the Revelation of Revelation exist or is. He don't believe that the Lord gave certain men a breakdowns in Revelation today. He believe that it's too hard to understand. That book is too hard to understand.
See,
This Amos chapter 9. Verse 9, for lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
Y'all should watch videos on the sifting process. It's real fascinating. You know what I'm saying? Every parable the Lord gave and everything he referenced all had like attributes to it, like things that we actually did, man. And that's why it makes sense when you go into the ancient customs and you learn about how we actually was doing things. You're like, damn, that was cool how the Lord compared it to the sifting process. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a delicate process. You know what I'm saying? If you don't pay attention, you can have things mixed amongst the seeds.
Right.
God.
I got it.
Go ahead, bro. I lost it.
Psalms 1:1, it says, Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And 3 and 4 is the point. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in its season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. And that's referring to the elect. Verse 4, the ungodly are not so. Because the brother brought out in Amos 9th chapter that, the elect are not going to fall out of Yahawashi outside grass. But verse 4, the ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. So imagine taking a bunch of corn, husking it, taking everything you need, and discarding what you don't. That's what the Lord is doing with the elect versus the non-elect. If you don't need it, you're going to be purged. You're going to be elected for that fire. You know what I'm saying? This elected on the left and the right hand side. It's people destined to be burnt up. Zechariah 13 and 8. You know what I'm saying? Psalms 1:1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
Right, and that man is blessed because, like we just read, the scriptures say, "Blessed is the man." Paraphrase the scripture. The scripture talk about how when the Lord come back, it's blessed for a man that the Lord find himself doing. You know, so that's why that man is gonna be blessed. You know, that's what the brother was going into. You know, you having different elects. You know, left hand side and the right hand side. Well, the right hand side of the elect is gonna be found doing, man. You know.
Yeah, Matthew 15, 13. This is Jeremiah 50. This is Esther. In the Apocrypha. This is the Esther. We started at 7. I'm starting at 8. And it says, and the nations were those that were assembled to destroy the name of the Jews. And my nation is this Israel, which cried to the Most High and were saved. For the Lord hath saved his people, and the Lord hath delivered us from all those evils. And the Most High hath wrought signs and great wonders, which have not been done among the Gentiles. So everything the Lord is doing, the nation, these heathen nations, they get the information from the prophets that the Lord has set up. His Lord, you know,
That's the Lord's mouthpiece.
yeah, the movies they make,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like we were going into earlier, dealing with the mouthpiece. The movies they make, they watch our videos. That's why they're able to take them down and all that. So that when they go into the videos, they're able to know what's coming next. All right, and knowing when to come down and different things like that. So because the Lord is showing his signs and his wonders unto his prophets. It says, therefore have he made 2 lots, because you got 2 lots, man. It says one for the people of the Most High and another for the Gentiles. So there's 2 lots, man. There's 2 and 2. All right, that's the balance of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And the lots of the Gentiles is death, destruction, so forth, so forth. And the lots of the Most High is prosperity, righteousness, salvation, everlasting life. It says, and these 2 lots came at the hour and time and day of judgment before the Most High amongst all nations. So now we're shifting into that part of the prophecy where both lots are intertwining, right? Where everybody is starting to see, okay, a super, what they say in the world, supernatural type of power intervening, and they can see that, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's coming to some type of realization of good and bad, all right? And that's how you know judgment is about to take place on the earth.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 13. It says, but he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They be blind, leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch.
Yeah, so the Lord said, what my Father hath not planted should be rooted up. All right, because you got something called artificial intelligence. All right, you got something called pseudoscience. You got something called nanobots. All right, where your body already have its own form of nanobots in it. Okay, so the things that's emerging in the earth is the transfer is a part of the transferring of kingdoms. But before the transferring of kingdoms, something drastic has to happen. That's what you see now, man. But the world can't comprehend it. Right?
It says, but he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They be blind, leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 6. It says, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place.
And the process is our people has forgot their resting place. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, the scriptures is our resting place. You know what I'm saying? I told you that Romans 15:4. Okay, things written aforetime are read for our learning, that we through patience and faith in the scriptures may have hope.
Right, but if I ask a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, is a Christmas tree in the Bible, they're not gonna know. But yet the Bible tells you not to put up a Christmas tree. So that shows you that they failed from they've forgotten their resting place.
Continue on.
Proverbs 5, verse 21. For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his going. Verse 22. His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sin. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray.
Yeah, yeah. The one Memphis comedian, he got killed because he made jokes about young golfers. You know, because everything, people don't like it. Somebody who always gets a folly all the time. But say he shall die without instruction. You got a lot of our people that's like that. You have Jake, they come to the truth, they say, oh, my cousin, my brother died, he never knew about the truth, Well, he must have, everybody pretty much had an opportunity to hear this word. And if they didn't have opportunity, then hey, that can happen too. Because the Lord said that if you didn't know, you could be with few stripes. If you knew, you could be with many stripes. So everybody might not know about this truth, but the fact of the matter is that the gospel went to the four corners of the planet Earth. And that's all that really needs to happen.
That's it on
I got one.
And if you really didn't hear, you really didn't.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11 and verse 15. It says, before the foolish devices of their wickedness wherewith being deceived, they worship serpents void of reason and vile beasts. Thou didst send a multitude of unreasonable beasts upon them for vengeance, that they might know that wherewithal a man sinneth, by the same also shall he be punished. We was going into, we tell Jake these things, ultimately we understand that it's up to Yahawashi whether he gonna understand it or not. But the Lord created two and two, and he created man, for knowledge, wisdom, to have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So, even for the 2/3 who gonna be punished, they still gonna come to a certain understanding.
It's like it's the Most High simulation. Like,
right.
You don't necessarily have to understand your role, but the Lord will be magnified. 2/3 they're gonna be good because eventually they're gonna be more than the ones in neglect. This is all a learning process, because spiritually we all got like markers on us, different colors. Like we all unique and identified by Yahawashi Yahawashi. But right now, you know, we just men trying to navigate through what we understand is life.
Going down to verse 21, it says, "For thou canst shoot thy great strength at all times when thou wilt, and who may withstand the power of thine arm?" You know, because it's the heavenly, it's, you know, even us, you know, who you know, hope that we you know, those men, and hope that we receive mercy. It's about we understand that it's by the Lord's arm whether we be saved or not. You know, it says without,
because sin is death.
right.
It says sin is attached to this bad system. All right. And so sin is death. Our people are going to those ways.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just real quick, it's a quick one. The Lord said, this is Jeremiah 50 and 20. In those days and in that time, said the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought forth, and there shall be none. And the sins of Judah and they shall not be found, for I will pardon them whom I reserve. So that's how you know that the sin,
Right.
you know, the ways of this world is contrary to the Lord. Right. You know, the Lord's going to have mercy because He's going to pardon those ways from amongst His elect.
Right. And that day, the scripture said, our arm is going to be light.
Because can I get a quick example? Because you made a point that sin is sin is attached. The way that the sin is dealt, you know, so that's Esau's currency. That, you know, that's the establishment of his currency that he got set up dealing with money. You know, so it's connected to sin. Real quick, this is book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and verse. I'm gonna start at 41. Actually 40. It says, "Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth."
Why? Because Esau coming in houses now.
Right.
In Australia, people getting taken to Q camps and C camps because they're not taking the Jews.
Right.
They're taking the Aborigines, the Japhetic, some of Japhetic, but the Aboriginal people of the island,
Right.
they done take them and put them in Q camps. Okay? Why? Because that's the wrath of this devil. Why? Because he ran out of time, man. You know? So you want to maintain a population under 500 million? That's the first satanic law on the Georgia Guidestone. Go ahead.
It says, "Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth."
Yeah, during the time of the Apostle Paul, they were hailing men and women into prison. They were, the Apostle Paul himself was hailing men and women into prison. So it's the same thing that's going to take place this time around. Paul was living during a time of Nero Caesar. And Domitian. And Julius was around the time of Yahawashi, but it's another one that Paul was with. It's Nero and
It says, "Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose."
yeah, because the economy is crashing.
And then even besides that, Esau is about to put into place a beast, the MOTB system, man. You know, so we, you know,
It's already here.
right,
He just about to flip the on switch on.
right,
And he ain't got to install nothing. Everything already installed.
right.
The 5G is already installed. The type of card readers and, you know what I'm saying, the touchless sensors and stuff,
Everything is
that's already installed. A year and a half ago, they put RFID readers at the toll booth when you pass the county to county. So everything is already installed. Now you just got to turn the baby on, fire her up. Put the chips in you and fire you up. Get them nanobots moving in you, man, so that he can control you and turn your frequency up, make you go crazy.
Well, hey, it's just like the movie Batman, Dark Knight movie, the last one. That's probably one of the best ones they ever made. That movie crazy. With Bang?
Yeah, with Bang.
What they do? What the brother just said? They went through the whole city for days, man. For years. Planting bombs throughout the whole city. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever knew what was going on, man. And then they finally hit that switch. Boom! And they blew up everything they needed to hit. Well, that's what Esau is doing. He's finally hitting that. He's about to finally hit that, try to hit that switch. It's gonna blow up everything, man. And then, damn, I'm about to turn the door.
Judges on the justice, you know.
Yeah, but those are something else.
I'm gonna keep reading though. It says, "Oh my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, because this is a battle, man. This is a war zone. You know, this is not a place of peace, man. Especially when Esau is the power of the man. You know, who's blessed is the sword. You think this is a place of peace?
Well, I did a lesson on that called "Behind Enemy Lines," man. You behind enemy lines, bro. You behind enemy lines. There's nothing for you, man. You know, it doesn't matter what you say. You know, y'all watch that movie.
And it's a spiritual battle.
Right.
Yeah, but it will be battles that are going to be taking place.
Right.
People going to be fighting. People going to be waging war against each other. People going to be invading one another. As the scriptures say. So, but why? Because they don't have this truth. So they're not going to be spiritually fighting. They're going to physically fight. We're going to be in the midst of that battle. We're going to be spiritually fighting. We're going to be trying to stay out the way.
Still using wisdom. The scriptures say, "I'll make." Still going to be trying to make peace, because the scriptures say, "I will make thy enemies to be at peace with thee." You know, so Jacob is going to move like a righteous serpent for everybody. You know, the Lord that the men that the Lord put the spirit on, they're gonna be moving as a righteous serpent in that time. But everybody else gonna be fucking going crazy, man. You know. It says, "Oh my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose." Right? You know, because it's gonna come a time where we're not gonna be able to, spend cash money on this and that.
Well, the time is now, man.
Right.
This is it, man. This is it, bro. It's no about the no. This is it, bro. We actually seeing it happen, bro.
Yeah,
you know, and that's what
you got people who can see that we right in the midst of it. People think it's still coming.
Shit, you think it's gonna be like 10 years down the line?
Everything that we are saying, man, the price is going up. The food is the quantity of food is going down.
America's breaking records, man. You know, of shit that they've never experienced, man. How have the Golden City, man, get that, man? Isaiah 14.
It says, "He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose, and he that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit value, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein." You know?
Yeah, because man, everything it said he that buildeth it, he that shall not dwell therein. Right. And you're gonna get taken to a Q camp.
Right.
You're gonna get taken to a C camp.
Yeah.
You're gonna build a house and then they're gonna take you to a C camp.
You say that they shall cast somebody that lives in their house. You know? That goes with that.
Isaiah 14:4. I'll start at 3 context. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage where thou was made to serve. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor seized the golden city seized? Right. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
Yeah, man. How is the golden city seized, man? Right. This is the golden city, man. Yeah, this is the whore that's never been touched, man. This is the one that sit amongst the waters, man. Right. All the people that the whole world marvel at, man.
Right, because even on the other side of the world, over there in China and Russia, Brazil, all these different places, they look at New York, they look at Hollywood, you know what I mean? They look at all these different.
It's like, that's crazy. I watched a video on this chick. She was like, man, she was an Asian chick. She was like, in China, the majority of American movies is banned. So she was like, I want to go in that field. I want to be a producer, whatever she said. She said the only place to make that happen and the only place in the world is Hollywood. She got to come to Hollywood to be like a Babylon. She got to come to America to be like a Babylon.
We saw the Dickie. We saw the Dickie.
Get a
Amalek specifically. You got precept?
Book of Proverbs, chapter 20. Go. Starting at verse 18.
Go for it.
Oh, come. Book of Job, chapter 20, verse 18. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away a house which he builded not.
Right. Yeah, he violently take. Hey, the brother Yakron had mentioned. What was that last year? What was that last year where you saw taking the indigenous people? You know, Australia, right?
He took Alaska too. He took
Right.
everything.
Yeah,
whole
America.
world.
Everything on
Pick a land. They all named after it. It said Psalms 49. They call their lands after their own names. So this is the reason why you're gonna have to. It said according to the substance shall the restitution be. So the cowboy boots you got on, the Jeep, everything, that all has a price tag to it. You know, and that's the amount of work that you're gonna have to work off in the kingdom, which really is an insurmountable debt.
Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not say of that which he desires.
So you're not gonna get your new world order. Right. You know, he shall not say that which he desires.
Then shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his good.
Yeah,
in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be as straight. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him.
Yeah, and the wicked goes into the laborers, you know, the common workers, you know, which they're going crazy right now in France. You got certain countries, mainly like these predominantly Edomite countries, they know what's going on. They see that they're being pushed into a corner and all their rights is being taken away. You know, they see the game that's about to be played, or that's already being played. So it said every hand of the wicked shall come upon him in the fullness of his sufficiency. Because right now he's at a time where he's pushing his agenda to the fullest. He's full steam ahead with it. That's why they hit you with another period. Okay, and they're gonna shut it down again. Okay, and they also said that the EU said that the passports don't have a 9-month expiration, which means what? After 9 months, you either gonna have to get another shot, or you're gonna have to be some other solution. And the other solution is gonna be the RFID microchip, the mark of the beast, man.
Verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahawah shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him.
How it impressive cease. Right. When he about to fill his belly, the Lord gonna cast his fury upon him. Right. 144. When he ready to put the elect in concentration camps, it said, "Search not mine anointed, for my holy prophets no harm." So when the Lord had his devil on Isaiah 59, that the enemy shall come in like a flood, and the Lord's gonna lift up a standard against him. So when he move on the elect, that's when the Lord's gonna cast them down and rain the fury upon them.
And shall raise it upon him while he is eating.
Rain it upon him while he is eating.
This is Job chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So Esau has this plan in his mind, pursuing the Thessalonians, that he's going to be like the Most High, and that consequently that train of thought makes him believe that he's going to reign forever. But the scriptures clearly brought out that his rulership has a time and an end. It's a beginning and an end. So I can read it again. It says, seeing his days are determined. So just like how in Ephesians, the first chapter, the elect was established, the time of his rulership was established too. It says, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So when that day is come, not a minute after, his kingdom is done. His rulership is done. And that's going to be, the beginning of rulership under Yahawashi, Yahawashi, King Dawadah, you know?
God. The day of the nuclear missiles hit. Yep, that's the beginning of forever. That'll be
Forever?
the beginning of forever for the elected nation of Israel. You know, and the elected nation of Israel and their families, they're not going to die. They're going to be made. We're going to be gods on the earth.
This is Second Ezra, chapter 4 and 36. And unto these things, Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seas is filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in the balance. By measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times. And he doeth not move nor stir them until the said measure is fulfilled. Right. So everything has its appointed time on when it's supposed to take place. So if he starts moving like this and moving like that, then keep moving on his own accord, but the Lord already played out, man. So that, like the scripture tells you in 2 Ezra is what, 2 and 13, the kingdom was already prepared for me. Watch. Right. It's already there, man. We just gotta play it out, man.
It's a scripture, I can't think, I don't know what it said, I might have to search it, but I might not even read it, but it talk about how the earth is given to different nations, different disposition of time.
No, that's the spirit. I was just thinking about how the Lord allowed every nation upon the face of the earth to have their
rule over Israel.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So when you subdue Israel, well, yeah, that's a good one too. But it kind of the words it differently. I think it's the second Ezra. But what you just say, bro?
The Lord gave every nation a part to rule.
Over Israel.
Yeah.
Because when you conquer Israel, you pretty much got everybody. Because Israel is the form of law. We influence the world. Right. So you know the other nations, they naturally follow us until we're on a higher level.
Right.
So when you conquer Israel, you conquer. Pretty much you good. The Midianites ruled over us. The Moabites ruled over us for periods of time. The king of the Canaanites ruled over us for periods of time.
And that's why, you know, when this thing pop off, you know, missiles shooting up, it's gonna be so chaotic because now we see majority of these nations, even now have a part of oppression over the nation of Israel at once. You see, because I've been meditating on this, you know, because our affliction was forwarded. You know, what the scriptures talk about, you know, how we was pretty much done, but then, you know, our affliction was forwarded. You know, now all these other nations is taking a part in the oppression of the nation of Israel. You know, at once. You see, you got the Chinese ruling over Jake. You got the Israelites ruling. You got Jake's the land over there in Ishmael. They being oppressed. You know, you got Jake over here in Babylon, South America. You know, and it's gonna be crazy because now you got these nations at war with each other over, you know, who gonna oppress Jake the best, man. You know.
They ain't from around.
God.
I ain't gonna say nothing. What's some city today? We got some following. Get some scriptures on some missiles.
That's what we're going to. Who did?
Which is Shabbat mentioned missiles. I was gonna get a precept on missiles.
I got one. Joel chapter 2, verse 2. I started at 1. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm on my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the warning spread upon the mountains.
So when you have skyscrapers that form, what happens? You saw that with 9/11. You turn into pretty much the whole city of New York City was smoked out for like months. Months. And people are having respiratory problems now from breathing in that stuff back then, on that day. So that's the type of darkness that's going to cover these lands. A lot of buildings say that the stone shall cry out and the wood and the timber shall answer. So these buildings going to be crumbling.
Yeah, that's twofold according to the state of the man's mind and the whole level of darkness, man. I did a video on that when they was doing that shit over there in Syria. I think that was in Syria, man. They showed the video looked up in the sky and the whole sky was dark, but you saw the sun like behind a dark cloud, man. Because you know what I'm saying, it's gonna look like it's nighttime outside. Get Isaiah 13 says
a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of cloud and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains.
Yeah, what's the clouds also? The clouds also the UFOs, the chariots. Okay?
A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of cloud and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it. That's not referring to actual people. That's talking about the chariots, the missiles. It says a fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burning. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. So, shit all cool until you look up and be like, oh, what the hell is that? It's coming right at us. You know, alarm's gonna be going off. It's gonna be mass hysteria, and there's gonna be nothing that you can do.
Well, a lot of people, you might not even, the people that you know, you might not even know, because it's gonna be so, everything will be so broken down in certain places, and people gonna be so desolate, you know, because there's a destruction that's happening right now. The word destroy comes from the word destruct. So this place is being destructured economically, systematically, with the food supply chain and the employment. These are all various avenues. This place is, the structure is being broken apart. You know, so it's gonna be fucked up, man. So people might not be no internet. You didn't know that the fucking missile is coming. Yeah, you know, TV and radio. You just got an emergency radio. You could barely get a signal and shit. Like, they show you that in apocalyptic movies. Like, ain't no infrastructure. The infrastructure is there, but it's not being maintenance. So everything is, you know, broken down and pretty much out of use. You got
Isaiah 13, verse 9. Behold, the day of Okay, God. Book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 3. I have commanded my sanctified one. I have commanded my sanctified one. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger.
That's these missiles that the Lord is about to unleash on these nations, on these people, man. Well,
even them that rejoice in my highness, the noise of a multitude in the mountains,
that's the mission.
like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms.
Like it. Because the angels is the ones that directs the missiles, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this is what they don't teach you in church, man.
God.
And it's like real quick, the angels always be messing with the signals, dealing with, you know, these different Russian and, you know, other heathen nation nuclear missiles. Yeah. You know, you had accounts of chariots coming through and messing with the signals, disabling the nuclear weapon.
Dude, everything got spirits behind it, bro. Every single thing got vibration.
You can't say that, it was Russia that disabled our nuclear missiles.
Right.
It don't even make sense. It's a nuclear system program, and you mean to tell me that you don't have your best anti-virus and anti-software?
Most expensive
Yeah,
science.
so you know what Yahawashi Yahawah shot. We're just playing with you, man. You know, just showing you what type of low levels you really on, Esau.
A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord.
Yeah, you know what's the antivirus stuff? What's it called? McAfee, yeah, it was another one too. But it's like some antivirus shit that used to always pop up on the computer. So you know, Esau, you got the best one. That's just a low level that you buy for your computer. You know what I'm saying? It costs like $50. You know what I'm saying? And that shit sometimes don't even work.
Right. Yeah. Shit, I never used that shit. Boy, I had hella
You must have had a Mac. You must have had a Mac,
brother. I had the cheapest shit, brother. I had hella viruses.
The Lord of hosts mustered the hosts of the battle.
Yeah, the army. And the Lord is still gathering the nations for World War III right now. got Russia threatening to invade Ukraine. And Ukraine is allied with NATO, you know. And America is allied with NATO as it stands right now.
Scripture say the least of the flock shall draw them out.
And so we know ultimately Israel, that's the least of the flock, talking about Israel. Ultimately, it's some conflict that's going to happen in the land of Israel that's going to draw America into war. Pursuant to the prophecy that the brother get that real quick, that scripture. I think it's in Jeremiah 49. Because the Lord said that the least of the flock shall draw Babylon out. Because America is Israel's bitch. You didn't know? Exactly. All your money go to Israel. All your money go to defend Israel. You know?
Bottom bitch. That's how you know.
Yeah, America's the harlot. That's what a harlot is. She's a bottom bitch. You know, she's a hoe.
Yeah, this is the book of Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 45. It says, therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Babylon. Right. Because, you know, the Babylonians have their counsel against the Lord's people. Well, Yahawashi got a counsel against you. It says, and his purposes, that he have purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them.
Why? Because Israel is pretty much not necessarily the people that's there, but the land of Israel, and Israel, the topic Israel in general, is the whole controversy for all of this. It's the controversy of Zion. So the reason why you're gonna be destroyed, the reason why you're gonna get drawn into World War III is Israel, because that's the big lie that you're trying to cover up in the first place, man. It's like a lie that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger because that shit just bust.
You can't tell no truth because it's so much.
There's no lie of the truth.
Yeah, it's like
so you gotta cover up the next lie, then you gotta cover up the next lie. So this lie was the next lie.
right.
That's why there's no lie of the truth.
And that
Because when he wasn't the first lie, it would never be no other lie.
Yeah, that land, bro. Like the brother was saying though, like everything. That's how you know these niggas is plugged out, man. With these Kemen and all these different shit they believe in, bro. The whole world is sitting around the concept of Israel, man. That's what this whole thing is surrounded by, bro. Good and bad.
About the controversy of Zion.
Yeah, exactly, bro. The controversy of Zion, bro. You know, and that's what everybody talk about. That's what's always in the news. That's who if we make a video about, we get taken down. That's what this whole thing is about, man.
Isaiah 34. I'm gonna read through it real quick. The point is in verse 8. Isaiah 34:1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahawashi bahasham Yahawashi is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
Hold on. It's like I said a lot because
Isaiah 34, verse 3. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
Yeah, because the Lord told you in the book of Numbers that the blood cannot be cleansed but by the one that shed it. So this man's government, his system, is going to be destroyed by the blood, the people that he killed and murdered
With bloodshed.
with bloodshed.
Yeah, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Exactly. And the Lord told you there's going to be stinking carcass because there's going to be so much death on the earth.
He said that there shall be nobody to bury them. The second Ezra the 15th chapter.
There it is.
It said that the body's going to be laying around in the street.
Yup. So it's going to be so much death, man.
Right.
You got it out.
So that's what I was saying. Like, you might not even know when the missiles coming. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be all these dead bodies.
Because he said the righteous shall be scarcely saved. You're going to be in the midst, like, man, it's going to be some shit that you really, bro, you could never imagine, bro.
Isaiah 34:4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's talking about the mushroom cloud from the impact of the nuclear weapon. You know, the mushroom cloud. It says, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. Yeah, dealing with this man's satellites and his planes and fighter jets and anything that's gonna be up in the sky, drones, all that's gonna be cast down. It says because man, when these bombs hit, man, these bombs are so powerful, man. It's gonna only reason why we're not gonna be phased because we're gonna be in angelic vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna be in energized vehicles. That's the only why we're not gonna be affected because it's gonna shoot up into the atmosphere, man. Like the impact and that pressure wave, it's gonna shoot up into the atmosphere to the point where everything that's up there is coming down. It's heavily technology, man. That's why even Apostle Tar said, even the people that's in bunkers, if they're on the land of America, they're not gonna survive, even in the bunker, because this place gonna get rocked, man. The Lord said it's gonna rock to and fro like a drunk. You ever seen a drunk?
That's another one too.
Isaiah chapter 24, verse 20. I'll start at 19. It says, the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceeding. Still talking about the missiles. This is all. Everything we're reading is going into the nuclear destruction. And even you gonna have certain small ballistic missiles that get shot. Verse 20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. They shall be removed like a cottage. So like that, you gotta imagine the earth shaking like that. Damn, like this whole tower, the whole top half of the tower fall off. A lack of control, man. A drunkard don't have control of his walk, man. Yeah, the earth gonna knock off his axis to an extent. For a second. I'll keep bringing out, bro. It's like I keep bringing out Yellowstone volcano, man. Like you can't. Then they got the San Andreas fault. Can you Google this, bro? Google San Andreas fault, because there's a fault line from California. I think it divides California and Nevada. But something hit. It said, get Revelation 11, come out of Revelation 11 and 15, because it said it's gonna be a great earthquake. What do you think gonna cause that great earthquake? That's the impact of this missile, man. You can read Revelation 11 first. That's it.
We got Revelations 11 and 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were a great voice in heaven, saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of God. The second woe. This is Revelations 11 and 14. Oh no, 13. Okay,
kind of good.
And the same Revelation 11:13, and the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell.
Right. So that's the great earthquake. That's gonna be caused from the impact of the nuclear weapons coming from Russia, coming from Iran, coming from North South Korea, coming from various nations of the NATO and the EU, to hit America.
And it said the 10th part of the city fell. That's because America is divided into 10 regions. So this place it's not gonna exist anymore, man. So the 10th part of the city,
the complete city,
like his whole system, man.
Yeah, that's why I said it was in slain 7,000, which is the number of completion. No, that's it. You got the San Andreas fault real quick.
No, I got it. You got it, because I want the sound.
Oh, right, it's like.
Grabbing that, I'll read this Isaiah again. Isaiah 24 and 20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, it shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it.
Yeah, so if you ever seen like a real earthquake, like when people be in let's say in the buildings, they'll jump, like they'll get pushed back or forward or fall down or whatever, because that's how violent being shaken. Yeah.
You know, it was a couple years ago.
I was staying in the apartment on this shit. The whole, I was on 16th floor. The building was shaking. I was like, hell no.
My front door, the whole house.
The buildings in this region are not made to withstand it.
Because really, you're not supposed to build a building over 3 stories.
Right.
Man, the Lord is going to be judging.
Yeah, because Esau broke every law. You broke every law that you could possibly, because this is Babylon, bro. We building high to the sky, bro. Look at this shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what? nigga's mad, bro. What's wrong with this dude, man?
It says
Nuts.
San Andreas Fault is a continental transform fault that extends roughly 1,200 kilometers through California. It says it forms a
About 500 miles, 600 miles, 1,000 kilometers.
It says it forms a tectonic boundary between the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate, and its motion is right lateral strike slip.
Well, the point was that it's a big ass crack in the earth, and it cuts through California. It's a humongous. So stuff like that is just gonna be fuel to the fire. It's gonna make it more glorious. It's glorious. It's gonna be like all the fireworks. And like, oh my God! It's like the earth gonna open up over here because that's gonna cause the earth gonna open up, swallow a bunch of cities. And
The city gonna have sinkholes. I had a dream on that shit, bro. It was sinkholes, all type of shit.
what is this gonna be?
Yeah, I got it. It says Yellowstone volcano eruption. What?
Yeah, like talk to the camera.
God, it's like
I need y'all to really understand how detrimental this
Now you got bug outs,
volcano is, man.
but you got bug outs that teach that the lake of fire gonna come from volcanoes. The lake of fire not gonna come from volcanoes, man. The lake of fire is gonna come from the missiles. You gonna have damage that's gonna be done because of the volcanoes. That's gonna be more fuel to the fire, like we've been saying. But just throwing that out there, because I heard that doctrine.
Yeah, kind. Them like you said, bro. Them ICBM missiles when they be hitting the ground, they gonna cause the earth to shake by them hitting the ground. So when they hit the ground, it's gonna shake the volcanoes. It's gonna shake the pipelines. It's gonna destroy these buildings with all these stoves and gas tanks and different shit, gas stations.
And that's all that's gonna like. I was gonna say that's not even gonna make a dent in the fire. Like what's really it's gonna be the nuclear power plants. Shit like that. That's gonna make it intensify. It's gonna be like don't hit the stove. It ain't gonna do no. Cause you already gonna be crispy if they're still in the house.
y'all seen that movie Geostorm?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like that. It says Yellowstone volcano. It says Yellowstone caldera, sometimes referred to as the Yellowstone super volcano, is a volcanic caldera and a super volcano in Yellowstone Nation Park in the western United States.
Yeah, because it's the biggest volcano in America. Right? Yeah, it's a super volcano. Right?
It says the caldera and most of the park are located in the northwest corner of Wyoming. And the scriptures say every spirit is created for vengeance. The Lord is going to cause some of these volcanoes to erupt, in a time of trouble, man.
He just did one in New Zealand.
It's wicked feet, ain't it?
Man, it's something else. I'll get it later. But yeah, the volcano, the Yellowstone, they did a movie on it called 2012.
God.
On the Yellowstone volcano, man. You know what I'm saying? But like we said, it's not the lake of fire. Fire is not coming from the volcanoes themselves. It's coming from the ICBM missiles. That's going to trigger other things, bro.
Because those volcanoes,
There's no escaping.
Impact like that is really all they need to erupt. It's like they're already agitated. So stuff like that is just gonna, But anyway, Isaiah 34:5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yahawashi bahasham Yahawashi is filled with blood. It is made with fatness and with blood, and with the blood of lambs, and goats, with the fat of kidneys of rams. For Yahawashi bahasham Yahawashi had a sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
God.
Yeah, so no, I was gonna say because so that's what this is. The Lord is preparing His altar. You know what I'm saying, for this great sacrifice. The Lord said He set up many sanctuaries. So these little sanctuaries is preparing that feast, preparing that gathering for the Lord. Man, this ain't nothing but a feast for the Lord, man. So He has a sacrifice of Basra. America is the capital city of the entire world. Everything flourishes out of America. Or they import and export out of America. That's why in Revelation 18 it said they weep and wail for
or destruction, man. All right.
And when you look at go into that word Basra in the blue letter, it says a city and a land of Edom. So this is the one sacrifice that Esau's gonna get right, you know, because he ain't gonna have no
it's not
choice.
even his. It's not even Esau's offering.
Right. It's
We're
not
preparing an offering for the Lord, right? We're seasoning the nations, man. We're flavoring the nations and preparing them for a sweet savor for the Lord, man.
God.
And that's what this is, bro. It says, verse 7, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made with fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahawah's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. Woo! Yes. For the controversy of Zion, for the covering of the heritage of the children of Israel.
Like you were just saying, that controversy comes from the confusion of them being in the land of Jerusalem.
Yeah, and then telling us that we nothing.
Yeah, 69ers.
That's why all the conflict is happening right now. Get Joel chapter 3. The Lord said He was going to gather all nations into the valley of Jehoshaphat. You know, He said He's going to gather them into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which Jehoshaphat is Yahawashi, which means Yahweh's judgment in the Hebrew.
God.
Okay.
Joel chapter 3, verse 3. Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations. I will bring them down into the valley of Yahawashi.
That's talking about the Middle East. Yahawashi is the Middle East. Okay? Got it.
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel.
The word plead means to judge. So He said He's gonna plead with them there. He's gonna judge them there. That's why the place is called Yahawashi. Shabbat means judgment. That's the place of Yahweh's judgment.
For my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
That's a part of the controversy of Zion. You scattered us amongst the other nations. You know, it said you sold us to the Grecians. From one end of the earth unto the other. You sold the children of Israel. We built up the Great Wall of China. And then we built up America. And then we built the Taj Mahal. And you nations, you sucked us dry, man. And we built up the world. The entire world was built up off the back of Israelites, man.
God.
Okay? Because we the form of all things. We invent things. We don't invent anything, especially not Esau. You deaf. Edomite definitely don't invent nothing.
You say Jacob is the former of all things.
Right.
I'll just go. That's weird. Stoplights, all these things, you'll find out that.
How was ancient Egypt made great?
Exactly.
Because Joseph was in there, man. If Joseph wasn't in there to make Egypt great, then Egypt wouldn't have been great. It said that the Lord prospered the house of Potiphar, Pharaoh's guard, because Potiphar was the one that bought Joseph from the Egyptians, and the Lord said that He blessed his house for Joseph's sake. So, you know, the Lord do everything for Israel. That's what the scripture says. Is Israel a servant? Is He a homeborn slave? He said that we was nourished times. When you get Revelation, real quick, Revelation 12, it said that we was nourished from the face of the serpent. The Lord got this devil taking care of you Israelites, man, because the Lord got compassion on His people. You know? And even it said that the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. So even when Esau take care of you, he feeding you poison. Even though he give you a easy life, your rent is $18. You living in the slums. It said the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel, man. Okay, you got GMO, you got chemtrails. Why is that a thing? Huh? Go ahead, bro. 12. It's around. Revelation 12, get it in your school, right?
I got Revelation 12, right?
I got 12, verse 7.
All right, come on. This is the Revelation chapter 12 and verse 7. It says, Revelation chapter 12, verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth a man-child.
Yeah, and that's what's happening right now. We cast this man to the earth because we're exposing him in his lies. Because his lies happen on the God level. if you believe his lies, you would think these motherfucker was a god. But then we come out here to expose him, we cast him to the earth. Look, thou art just a man and not God.
It says, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished.
Then now the next verse goes, rewind a couple thousand years, I mean not a couple thousand, but a couple hundred years back, okay, to when we was brought on ships to this place, America. Read that again.
It says, and to the woman.
Because the book of Revelation is not in chronological order as far as chapter goes. You know, certain verses might be in chronological order, but everything is not in chronological order. It jumps into different time periods of history.
It says, and the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where
That's talking about America.
Into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent.
Yeah, so you being nourished from the face of the serpent, man. Here in America, and during the time we was in chattel slavery and things like that, because ultimately the Lord had compassion on His people, man. So the Lord, even in the worst captivity, at the end of it, it don't even seem like it. Yeah, Ezekiel 38. Ezekiel 38, verse 1. The word of Yahawah came unto me, saying, and the word of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And Gog and Magog is referring to Russia. The land of Gog and Magog is where Russia currently is now. The Russians are Edomites. They're not the nation of Gog and Magog, but they reside in the land that Gog and Magog was at. So they are known prophetically as Gog and Magog. It says verse 3, and say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shields, all of them handling swords. Yeah, like the Lord said, He's going to put fish hooks in the mouths of the nations. He's turning them back to their ancient customs. Mainly Russia. Yeah, mainly Russia to that Soviet spirit, or that USSR, that dominant spirit, man. For the Carmanians, he's stirring them up to their beast-like nature, so they can play war on remember their nature. Remember their nature. What's the nature of the Israelites? That these are wild men. Wow. He said his hand shall be against all the hands of his brothers. It says here, Ezekiel 38, now it's going to list the armies that Russia is pretty much defending and in alliance with. Okay. And also he's putting the hooks. When you go fishing and the fish is caught on the hook, you're able to direct it wherever you will. So the Lord is bringing them to the valley of decision. They didn't bait, and the Lord bringing them for that grand battle, man. Well, thank you, God. Ezekiel 38, verse 5. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, all his bands, and many people with thee. Yeah, so Iran, which is Persia, Ethiopia, it said Libya. It also mentioned Gomer, which is Turkey. All these nations are in alliance with Russia. Okay, why? Because it was written. That were the roles that they was gonna play together. It says in verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia pretty much is a guard unto these nations, which is an ally. This is why America can't really move how they want to move on these nations that's listed. Persia, Iran, Turkey. America can't do what they want to do with them because they're allied with Russia.
And that's how these things are being stirred up, because America is an ally of Israel. They defenders of Israel.
Nobody like Israel.
Yeah, kind of.
Nobody like Israel but the bloody Americans. It says here in Ezekiel 38.
And I even know.
Right.
And they recently had a lawsuit. You had some Americans suing some Jews for something that they did suing some Israelis for something that they did about some business in America. So it's just these nations, man.
Ezekiel 38 and 10. We'll jump down to 10. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, the Most High, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates."
That's America, man. That's America, man. The virgin that's never been touched, man. You know? And these nations gonna touch America, man.
Yeah, cause when these people, a lot of people in America, they don't have like a lot of homes, you don't have fences.
Yeah, man.
Like, you need to have a fence, let alone a wall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let anybody come to your house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That show you that the people, they don't really understand life for real. Cause you supposed to have some type of fortification about your dwelling place.
Yeah, we got that. We got that problem living with a spot that we got. It's an opening in the fence, and you be having random people just walking.
Yeah, when I was in high school, like my backyard did have a fence. And all the high school kids that cut through our backyard and shit. I mean, we was cool for that. We was cool with everybody, so it wasn't a big deal, but that's just the point. People are allowed to trespass and invade, okay, to take a spoil. It said, verse 12, to take a spoil and to take a prey and to turn thine head upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. Yeah. America was once known as the land of Arsareth in the scriptures, which is
Another land.
yeah, which means another land. What is it in the Hebrew? Taza, something Taza. Yeah, but another, I forgot how you say it. But anyway, yeah, I'm not saying that.
Just about. Estimate, brother.
All right, read that. I did like that.
Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord.
And it's a burden to Egypt, man. You know,
This one of the burdens us teaching. Yeah. That's in Isaiah 13.
Yeah.
And then another burden is going to mention is the chariots and the division.
See, wrong. It says, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud.
It goes into the chariot. That's a burden. That's another burden.
That's a curse on the earth.
That's why the Lord said Esau is wearied in the multitude of his counsels. He got all this shit hanging on his back. It's like I got people say I keep the world on my shoulder.
Yeah,
That means they got a lot of burdens. Okay?
It says, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt.
It should come into Egypt. That's what he did last time, man.
Cool.
Yup.
It says to make inquisition.
Yep.
Woo! He got a gigantic what do you call it, magnifying glass. Investigate. Like,
Yeah, you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
investigate.
what
Go to that word inquisition.
Yeah.
You gotta come and investigate those inhabitants that hurt have Jerusalem.
Yeah, but a lot of times the chariots they visit these military bases. That's why Esau got to declassify them, because the chariots the people they ain't really going to normal people. They going straight to Esau, straight to the gates of the no route. Yeah, you know, to their military bases and playing around.
Hey, straight up.
God.
They ain't worried about normal small ass civilians coming to the bases, bro. They worried about them chariots.
Talking about I got abducted. No, they ain't worried. They're not worried about you.
Nah, bro.
See, wrong. It says, shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence.
Yeah, and that's what the this whole holiday season, the most expensive Thanksgiving. You know, they say that people don't want their family members to come over because they're not juiced up. That's the idols being moved. Because and then it's a girl I went to school with and shit. She had sold me something, but it wasn't the right product. You know what I'm saying? And she ended up getting jacked up, and she ended up being in the hospital on Thanksgiving. So you know, she on Instagram talking, she's so sad. I'm thinking like the idols of heathen shall be moved, because you want to be there so you can participate in that idolatry, and it's separated from you. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord pretty much got you people in a place where you can't even worship and participate in your idolatry how you once was. That's the idols being moved. Because the presence of the Lord is here, man. He's shaking the kingdom.
That's beautiful, man. Yes, water for the testimony, because, and I was thinking about my grandmother, because you know, like, you know, they all believe in like the catching of the CB, you know what I mean? So my son was sick. I was like, hey, he's sick. You know what I'm saying? She like, she was willing to get sick just to hug him, man, and kiss him, bro. That just shows that these people like don't have nothing. They have no backbone, no strength about them. What's about to come to this place, bro? All the shit that's what they family turning on, they ain't gonna know how to take that shit. They ain't gonna believe what the fuck is happening, bro.
Yeah, and eventually Esau gotta bring out a real sickness. So this one could be the real, you know, like a real thing. Real talk. You know, that really have people dropping dead.
Because right now it's more so a doctrine.
Or they could just turn on the 5G and say, and people start dropping dead, and then they say it's because of the news. You know what I'm saying? They do whatever. There's so many avenues they can. That's how you know that they not turning back, because if I could come up with a plan for him, then of course he got his own plan, and he already fulfilled it. If we coming up with all these scenarios for him and shit, like
right now, like they've been mapping this shit out for hundreds of years.
Right, exactly.
We'll close out. All right, Khan. Verse 2. So I can continue on verse 1. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of
the mindset.
Right.
The shadow, the things that these doctrines that they push shall melt, man, with fervent heat. Okay? And by the mouth of the prophets, bro. Go ahead.
And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother.
Yeah, man, these Egyptians is going crazy, man. These Babylonians.
The brother, they sent the video over in France, they protested, and they like throwing stones. They was throwing stones at the police. It was crazy. There was so many rocks that was being thrown, and one of the riot police got hit with the stone and was like knocked out cold. So yeah, so the you know, like the guard, they had the shield, they trying to drag him out of here, and he looked lifeless. You know, the leg, all you see is the leg getting scooped. I said, damn. So they going at it, man, because over in Europe, like I said, these other countries on the other side of the world, they know what's going on more than Americans. Americans are lost in the sauce.
Real talk. My wife had a class at her job. She had a class with a chick that was from over there. And she was asking her, like, bro, y'all do everything so different over here. She was like, this ain't the same where I'm from. This, that, and the third. I can't remember exactly what they was talking about. But these countries, bro, they into something way different than America, bro. Even though the customs and the mindset, you know, the way they eat, the way they wear their clothes,
I was just gonna mention real quick, because I think that those friends, rights and stuff, they started like 2019, right?
Man, they've been right, exactly. They've been writing for years.
It ain't no
non-stop.
There's no comfort for this. It's no.
They always say there's no peace for the wicked.
It's no one to spit on that fire. It's no way to take up. You know.
No, the Lord gonna blow on the fire. He said, He said gonna send fanners to Babylon. He said, what will I if it be already kindled? He said that means that he wanted to already be burned.
Yeah. This is sweet baby Jesus that they don't tell you about. You know?
Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
Because right now you got verbal attacks on America from Iranians and different people around the world. They verbally attacking America. Talk about economically,
It's already war starts economic. War starts as merchant wars, and then it moves into physical bloodshed. So it's already a war. You're already in the midst of it. It's just the Lord's going to allow it to escalate to the complete and utter destruction of this place. And the scripture mentioned that the Egyptians go. How do we know that this is Egypt? somebody, a Christian, gonna pop up and say, "That's talking about Egypt. We're not in Egypt. We're in America." But America is spiritually Egypt. It tells you that in Revelation 11:8. You got the dollar. You got the pyramids on the dollar bill. You got the cryogenics, where they preserve a vessel. That's nothing but mummification. Okay, that was going on in ancient Egypt. And then the elder Yahawashi just did a lesson about the Oscars and the Oscar statue. You know, that goes back to an Egyptian idol too, man. So I mean, we can go on for days. You got the city of Memphis. You got Memphis over in Egypt.
The Mississippi River, the Nile River. Like, this place was created
to mimic Egypt.
Mimic Egypt, bro.
Because they worship those Canaanite gods. You know.
Isaiah 19:3. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof.
That's these. Hey, got no answer. It ain't got no answer. The Lord is destroying the mighty men of Teman, these, the wise men of his tribe, the wise men of Esau, Edom. He's destroying America, the concept, the doctrine, the philosophy.
Look at the administration.
Right. The government.
Look at the Joe Biden administration. You tell me that there's wisdom there. Right. And the Lord said, Apostle Ron, I was going into how, it's not easy to run a kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of different things that you got to attend to and keep up with and maintain. And you structure it, you got to go here. So, and the scripture say he's wearied in the multitude of his counsel. So this man is really losing sleep, And that's why, you notice Satan, man, as soon as we saw the prophesying over there with the nice little awning over our head, they working on the building. Well, look, no, they working on that. Working on the building like it's gonna open up and be something. That shit was nothing for years. They've been over there for 3 weeks, and now they about to renovate.
I ain't never seen nobody in that motherfucker.
Hey, that's pretty much it, man. Right? Yeah. The Lord in this edifying to remember Yahawashi Yahawah elect. We're gonna turn to the east, give all praise out and glory to
Yahawashi, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham,
giving us the spirit to do this lesson, this prophesy the downfall of America, Babylon the Great. The Lord when it was edifying to remember the Lord's elect to the beast of the field. Yahawah Shalom. Yeah, man, I ain't got no bread, man. I got the bread of life. That's all
He said he come to hear the word.
Every creature.